friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." What draws people to be friends is that they see the same truth. They share it. It is when we notice the dirt that God is most present in us. It is the very sign of His presence. Love is not affectionate feeling, but a steady wish for the loved person's ultimate good as far as it can be obtained. Affection is responsible for 9/10 of whatever solid and durable happiness there is in our lives. Since it is so likely that children will meet cruel enemies, let them at least have heard of brave knights and heroic courage. Each day we are becoming a creature of splendid glory or one of unthinkable horror. I sometimes wonder if all pleasures are not substitutes for joy. It's so much easier to pray for a bore than to go and see one. No man knows how bad he is till he has tried very hard to be good. If a man thinks he is not conceited, he is very conceited indeed. Joy is the serious business of heaven. The task of the modern educator is not to cut down jungles but to irrigate deserts. We are mirrors whose brightness is wholly derived from the sun that shines upon us. All get what they want, they do not always like it. Reality is not neat, not obvious, not what you expect. It is safe to tell the pure in heart that they shall see God, for only the pure in heart want to. It is not out of compliment that lovers keep on telling one another how beautiful they are. The delight is incomplete till it is expressed. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. Being in love first moved them to promise fidelity. This quieter love enables them to keep the promise. Thirst was made for water, inquiry for truth. The sun looks down on nothing half so good as a household laughing together over a meal. Forgiveness does not mean excusing. The homemaker has the ultimate career. All other careers exist for one purpose only, and that is to support the ultimate career. The truth is, of course, that what one regards as interruptions are precisely one's life. When you are arguing against God, you are arguing against the very power that makes you able to argue at all. We're not doubting that God will do the best for us, we're wondering how painful the best will turn out to be. Love is something more stern and splendid than mere kindness. We regard God as an airman regards his parachute. It's there for emergencies, but he hopes he'll never have to use it. Faith in Christ is the only thing to save you from despair. The heart never takes the place of the head, but it can, and should, obey it. Pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. We laugh at honor and are shocked to find traitors in our midst. There is but one good, that is God. Everything else is good when it looks to Him and bad when it turns from Him. God cannot give us a happiness and peace apart from Himself, because it is not there. There is no such thing. Nothing you have not given away will ever really be yours. You may forget that you are at every moment totally dependent on God. No one ever told me that grief felt so like fear. It is not your business to succeed, but to do right. When you have done so, the rest lies with God. Readers are advised to remember that the devil is a liar. The door on which we have been knocking all our lives will open at last. The past is frozen and no longer flows, and the present is all lit up with eternal rays. In our own case we accept excuses too easily, in other people's, we do not accept them easily enough. To love at all is to be vulnerable. A pleasure is not fully grown until it is remembered. When we lose one blessing, another is often most unexpectedly given in its place. No good work is done anywhere without aid from the Father of lights. To walk out of His will is to walk into nowhere. The sons of God became a man to enable men to become sons of God. Don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. Of all the bad men, religious bad men are the worst. One road leads home and 1,000 roads lead into the wilderness. Relying on God has to begin all over again every day as if nothing had yet been done. Someday you will be old enough to start reading fairy tales again.